Welcome, guys, back to the I Love Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, as always, Justin Woolwine. Today, we are welcomed with Riley Reinhart, Martian Webb, Alienated Youth. How are you guys doing?
Boys are doing good.
Doing good, man.
Great.
Excited to get you guys on here. I saw you guys through Exodus Pro Wrestling, which we'll talk about in abundance. Shout out to Exodus.
That's the brand.
For setting this up. Thank them very much. Before we get started with questions and the conversations, would you guys like to shout out like your social medias and upcoming events, maybe coming towards the back end of April?
You can go
Right?
first.
Okay.
If you want.
Sure. My Instagram is just Martian Webb with 2 B's.
Okay.
And mine's on Riley.Reinhart on Instagram.
Gotcha. And then y'all just started. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. Sorry.
I was gonna say y'all just started the new Instagram, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's Alienated Youth.
Youth.pro.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I like it. As far as upcoming events, I know May 23rd, Exodus Pro Wrestling. The boys are back in town.
Yes, sir.
ILWPOD is one of the sponsors for that event.
Heck yeah.
First question, I'm going to throw it out there. What do you guys have coming for us May 23rd?
Ooh.
You know what's cool about May? That's our 1 year at Exodus.
It is.
Okay.
And last show we had our shot for the tag team title, and we were told that was our one shot, and we were gonna have to kind of start from the bottom again and make our way up. So me and Martian started talking. We said if we want to make a statement and show that we could be a top tag team, Exodus Pro, we wanted to call out the top tag team, probably the NWA right now.
Okay.
So I think we want the slime balls.
Slime balls? That'd be great. That'd be great.
I think that's who we're going for right now.
I think they have a lot to prove heading out of Exodus as well, so that could be interesting.
Yeah, the slime ball's been our eyes since we first walked in there, so
okay,
that's who we're hoping for.
Sounds good. With ILWPOD, typically I start with the beginning, not only of your career but maybe of your fandom, like when you guys fell in love with it, when you found it. So I'll start with Martian. When did you find wrestling, and maybe what made you fall in love with it?
Was I there for you guys for a second?
Yeah, it bleeped in and out, but
okay,
just for a second.
That was weird. Yeah, I think it was like 2007, so I think I was like 6 when I first started watching it. And it was honestly just one of those things where like I feel like everyone always says it, but it really is just one of those things. You see it and you just know that's what I want to do.
Okay.
Like I used to always I would skate and do this and that, and people were always like, I love escaping life and doing this, and I was always like, it's fun, but once I started wrestling, it was always like, dude, this is I get what they were saying, this is my escape, and this is what I want to do forever.
What about you, Riley? I think I've been just a fan of pro wrestling since I was probably in preschool. I have I'm 3 brothers, so I have an older brother, and he was big into wrestling when I was really young.
The biggest fan.
Yeah, he's the biggest fan ever.
So crazy, dude.
I was 2 years old, running around the diaper thinking I was Jeff Hardy, just because I looked up to my older brother. My brother liked wrestling, so I wanted to be close to him. So I fell in love with it, and then eventually he got out of it, and then I was at the age where I started liking things myself, and I fell in love with wrestling. Then I got my little brother into it, so our whole bond's just wrestling. So we all do different things, but wrestling is what brings us together. So my whole life's just all I've known.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What ultimately made you guys decide to start training? Riley, you want to start this one?
Yeah, I'll start. It's what I want to do my whole life. So I was an amateur wrestler from 5th grade all the way till I graduated high school, and I had think I had 5 college offers to go for wrestling. I was a pretty good amateur wrestler, but like I just wanted to be a pro wrestler. I really got into amateur wrestling because of pro wrestling, and I was like, yeah, there's nothing else I want to do. My whole life, I was like 17 years old, still playing with John Cena action figures. I didn't care. It's just this is what I wanted to do my whole life. I really have no other choice but this.
What about you, Martian?
Honestly, pretty similar. I feel like I I played soccer and stuff, like that was always fun, but kind of came to an end. I wasn't gonna do college or nothing. I always made jokes like with my family about like I'm gonna do it. Like one of these days I'm gonna do it. And they always like they're the most supportive people ever. But like at the time, obviously, like they didn't think it was possible because like we didn't know anything about how to get into a school or nothing. And then I don't even know. I think my dad was just on Facebook and he goes, dude, there's a school in Toledo. So I looked into it and I looked around, started like looking more into it, and I saw a bunch of things that were actually close. And I was like, this whole time none of us even knew. And then I found out I was like 11 minutes from my house, and I was like, it's time. Like I always said I was gonna, and then we found that. I was like, it's time.
It's kind of like it's meant to be at that point.
Right, dude. It felt like that. It was crazy.
What was your guys' experience like training with Trey Miguel, CK3
Yeah.
at Skull and Bones?
It was a great time, really. Like it's like a perfect like yin and yang over there. Because like Trey would teach you all like the new school, like high flying stuff. He'd teach us the technical stuff. Like CK is just down and dirty, gritty work, like
Meat and
just
bones.
meat and bones. So like you learn really from CK how to like actually wrestle and stuff, and like how to like throw a punch and how to like get into just nitty gritty wrestling. And then you got Trey over there who's teaching us how to do front flips and back flips and crazy springboard stuff. So like you get a mix of both worlds perfectly there.
Okay.
Very, very old school and new school like put together, and it's very good.
If there was one piece of advice or something he either Trey or CK3 told you guys, what what maybe sticks out the most if you had to pick something?
For me, it's definitely if you think you're going slow, slow down.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
We heard that so much and it never like clicked. And then I don't know if it was like said a different way or if we were just doing things. There's one of the times where it really clicked and we were like, dude,
It
we
works.
understand
Yeah.
what it means.
Yeah, like I think the main thing I took from CK was like, and like it took me and Martian a while to learn it, but like learning your opponent, learning what your opponent can do, and like what your opponent can't do. Like CK pound us in our head. Like there's certain matches you can go out there and do all the crazy spots, and there's other matches where you just gotta be able to tell a story. And CK really taught us how to work with anybody and do anything we need to do to get the match over really
Whenever
well.
you're working.
You know, with your guys' style, I could definitely see where the critique of, if you think you're going too slow, you might want to slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is how, excuse me, how difficult is it to try to slow down when you're in a fast pace
It's
match? Like how do you figure that out?
For us, a lot of it was like is the in betweens and like the moments, I think.
yeah.
Okay.
And like we would so like when we're doing the spots, right? Like we're very fast paced. That's when we do them, and it's like when those stop, when we really like let the crowd breathe and appreciate everything, or like when we can also like have our own little moment and like look at them and everything like that.
Yeah. I think personally, like a lot of it was us just getting tired super fast. It really humbled
That
us.
too.
There was like a lot of times where like we were just going, and like we're like maybe like 2 minutes in the match, we're both so like we really kind of learned how to like add characters and slow down really because we got like a long match after us and we don't want to tire ourselves out in the first 2 minutes. So that was just humbling and really taught us how to get that down.
Okay. What made you guys decide to become Alienated Youth?
Riley will tell you this story because he's gonna love telling you this story,
Oh,
but
dude, I tell
I see it
if
differently.
anybody will listen, I'll tell them this story. So,
Okay.
I started a year before, like it was like roughly a year, I'd say,
Yeah,
like a year before him.
yeah.
And when I was just a single wrestler. I was working under Riley Reinhart. I really didn't know who I was. I was just a wrestler. I was just a white meat baby face. So when I saw Martian start training, me and him were like work practice matches together and stuff. I was like, me and him got like similar styles and everything. Like we were always good friends. We worked well together. We can all pull a good match together. So eventually, when he was doing matches and wrestling, I was like, "Hey, dude, like we should work together. Like we should start tagging." And very cockedly, he looked at me in the
No,
face.
no.
Nah, he looks me in the face and he goes, "Nah, man, I want to be a singles wrestler." They walked away into the sunset, and then maybe like 4 or 5 months later, he approached me now, and he was like, "Hey, dude, like maybe that tag team stuff would work." That's how it went. If you ask him, it would be different, but that's how I remember.
What's your version, Martian?
That whole first half that he said was incorrect. And then us talking about becoming a tag team, technically for the first time then, because the actual first time was just all made up from him, of course. Uh, that's how it was. We just simply talked about it one time, and then we became it.
No, he
Okay.
he totally rejected me first time.
That
Where
was like a
where
month
did
into training.
where did your tag team name come from? Where did Alienated Youth become
Dude,
born?
it we were stressing a tag team name for what, 2 months?
Yeah, we had so many different names before we explained it, honey. I think we were trying to be the Space Cadets at one point. That was like
Yeah.
I was really big on the Space Cadets.
He's like, dude, let's be like astronaut, like space theme, something. And like we were trying to think of something. We just couldn't do it. We couldn't figure it out.
And
Okay.
then eventually we were riding with Trey to a show, and he just said like, "Oh, you guys should be Alienated Youth."
We
And
looked at
like it
each
was just
other,
one of those like mouth drop moments.
bro,
But Trey explained Trey before they were the Rascals, they were Alienated Youth.
for like
For like
1 or 2
yeah, they
matches.
said they were like for like 1 or 2 matches before they landed on the Rascals, they were Alienated Youth. So he was like, yeah. If you look at like there's like an old picture of Pro Wrestling Revolver of Zach and Dez Wesley. They were Alienated Youth, but they used it for like 2 months, I think. So kind of just adapted it. Now it's ours.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did that give you guys any pressure, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've only had like 1 or 2 people approach us and be like, hey, you guys are like the old Rascals name. And like, I think I watched a match back one time and the commentator was like, oh, like Alienated Youth, that used to be the old Rascal. These boys have a lot to like hold up to. But like, yeah, it's like kind of adapted the name. So we kind of had to show out for it because you know how good the Rascals are.
Okay. Um, seeing as how, how do I want to put this? I'm just gonna ask, how did you guys come into Exodus Pro?
Marshall will tell you this long one.
Okay.
That was a fun one. We what was it? They were doing they just wanted people to submit promos,
It
right?
was like a competition type deal.
Yeah.
Is it
And
like a tough enough kind of thing?
kind of, but really just like
Yeah.
promos. Like they just like wanted to
Okay.
see people's promos and just kind of go from there.
Okay.
And Sam Beal, who we ride with a lot, was already in there, like in Exodus, and he was like, "You guys should definitely try. Like this place is sick, obviously." So we did a promo, and then I sent that thing to everyone, and I was like, "Comment, go support, love, blah blah," and like we had like God 20 people or something
Yeah.
like.
The whole comments was just us basically.
Yeah, and they saw how much like comments we had, and they just like instantly knew. Like pretty sure Noah showed EC3 it, and he was like, "Dude, these guys are like the number one commented. Like, we gotta get a man to see trial
Yeah.
run or whatnot." And well, a year
Roby
later, here we are calling out the slime balls.
Roby was like Roby saw it and like we worked on shows with Matt Roby before, Rex Brody. And he really pitched us hard too. He was like, yeah, these kids are good. Just give them a shot. And we kind of got
Okay.
our shot and we just kind of rode with it.
Man,
I think going through your social media, I remember the one of the posts announcing you guys were making your debut said that you guys were the most requested
yeah,
to be involved. How did that feel? Was that kind of humbling in any way?
dude. we every time we do something, like we look at each other and go, how, like we're
Yeah.
so grateful. Like we're always mind blown by everything because we're just two kids from like Toledo and or Detroit, Woodhaven, whatever you want to say. Like we just, I don't even know. It's still mind blowing some of the opportunities we've had, and
We've
it's
only you've only been tagging for like a little over a year now, and like some of the opportunities and some of the stuff we've had happen to us, it's like we always look at each other and we're like, dude, somehow this is working. Somehow we're figuring this out.
what are we
Like,
doing right, or what are we doing here, man? This is
we're,
crazy.
we're legit kids still. Like we're not adults yet. We're just kids figuring this out. And it's like it's working so well for us, where it's just like it
So,
is humbling.
so grateful and humbling.
It's amazing. Um, what's it been like for the both of you to work with somebody like EC3?
Insane.
Yeah.
It's that, like, if you want to step up and level up, like everything, dude, it's there. Like it's
It's Exodus is just like a whole different vibe because like
yeah.
we've worked so many indie promotions now. Probably like I feel like I've probably done like probably worked like 40 indie promotions now or somewhere around there. And it's just like when we go to Exodus, it feels like we're doing TV. Like
It
it's
is.
just like we have someone there, like we have producers, we have like guys out there. You go into the gorilla position, it's big TVs and stuff. You have people pulling to the side, people giving you advice, people like helping you as much as possible. So like EC3 has helped us so much. Just a little stuff like we didn't even realize we were doing or like we didn't even think of. He'll come up to us and be like, listen, boys, this, and this. And like our mouths just drop. We're like, dude, we wouldn't have even thought of that.
You know, it's really interesting because EC3, I had him on the podcast, and he even afterwards, we talked for a little, not very long, just long enough, and immediately he was like, "Look, kid, you're doing great. I love what you're doing here. Great stuff. But if yeah, I know you didn't ask, but here's some advice. Fix
Yeah,
this, and this, and you'll be great." And I was like, "Okay, I wish I'd thought of those things beforehand, but thank you." And so I could definitely see where he does that. And I've heard that from like Pretty Boy Smooth told me like
yeah,
that, Brandon Beretta. Um, so it's a common thing. EC3 is definitely a mind that I think is underutilized.
dude, for sure. That
He's
man,
been
he loves wrestling, and it
yeah,
shows.
he's been everywhere, and the fact that he's like humble enough and like nice enough to pass it down. Like we've had guys before where it's just like they've been everywhere, but like when we kind of approach them, they're kind of just like, "Get away from me!" Like I'm not. But like he's just so like he's just
Doesn't
a
have to,
filter
but
that just
does.
wants to like give us everything. He just wants to see everybody do good, which is so grateful for and like really appreciate him for it.
Dude, he loves Exodus.
He really does. And like I remember I was at the last show and I was waiting afterwards. I had an interview, excuse me. After the show I had one more. I did some beforehand. And I remember EC3 was taking pictures with everybody bleeding still. And he waves me over and he thanked me for being there. And I was like, you need like thank you for inviting me. Thank you for the sponsorship or whatever. And then he's like, I saw you had siblings and family here, bring them over, get a picture, yada. And I was like, you don't have to do that. Like, and just for him to take the time of day is just, it's crazy. Cause you don't see that a lot at most indie promotions. Like, there's maybe one I can count here in Chicago that I've been to that's like that. And then the other ones, like, of course they appreciate their fans, but not in the way that EC3 appreciates fans for Exodus. Um, I did want to point out you mentioned that it's kind of built like TV.
Hmm.
Um, how does that like help you? Do you think that helps you guys when even when you go to like other indie promotions, working that maybe TV style?
For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
It taught us like little stuff too. Like now, every time we show up to the show, we're like, right away, we're like, where's the hard cam at? We're like, how much time we got? Like, it's a lot of other indie guys. You don't really think about time. They don't think about the ref. Like, they don't think about like it being filmed. So
Time
like,
cues and time. Oh man.
we were we worked a show like it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago where like I was like halfway through the match and I looked at the ref. I'm like, hey, how much time we got? And he's like, oh, I don't know, dude. I'm like, and like Exodus, like that's very important, like times and stuff, and like making sure you're looking towards the camera and everything, like and like kind of just like do that at other places now. It kind of became a habit, which is like a really good habit to have.
If the goal is to be on TV one day, it's helped tremendous. Like putting that everywhere we go and just having that main focus.
It's definitely a good platform to launch yourself to that level. I think
Yeah,
just watching it as a as a fan. I remember I've mentioned my little brother a couple times now, but we was watching the Exodus show, and like you have all the little segments with like Carson Drake, Brandon Beretta, and he was just like, why do they why are they doing it now? Like why didn't they pre-record it, or why isn't it on a screen, or like because we'll go to other indies and that's what they are. And I was like, because technically they're live on TV, it's on YouTube, like so
NWA
it's
YouTube channel,
it's it's presented that way. And he was so confused, and I was like, well, it's just like watching a television show.
right?
And then I showed him the views for like the end of y'all's last show, and he was like, it really is. And honestly, Exodus is probably one of, if not the hottest thing on the NWA YouTube channel. How does that feel to be a part of the program that's the hottest on, a legendary promotions channel like the NWA?
Dude, before we go through the curtain, we usually always freak out with each other. We freak out extremely when it comes time for that.
Yeah, it's grateful because like there's like I think there's like 7 or 8 territories for the NWA, but like
Mm-hmm.
Exodus is just it's the top one, and the fact that like we get to be on that one and we get to like grow on Exodus and stuff, like
Once again, just somehow we just two kids, 3 years
yeah,
in, and we're just dude. It's so
it's
crazy.
it's cool that like that it's live too. So like like I don't have family that can make it out there, so I'm like, yeah, watch me on the NWA YouTube channel. I'm gonna be on. Like they all have like watch parties and watch me on the NWA channel. It's super cool. It's a cool experience. Like you said, we're kids, man. We're just on the NWA and stuff working and thing.
It's so
Uh,
sick.
so far in Exodus, like you've been linked a lot with TME, Duke
One
Davis,
year
Gannon Jones Jr. What's it been like working with those two monsters of men?
hurts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hurts, man.
No, yeah, no, they're nuts.
They're
We
aggressive.
we started basically the feud with them last May, and then the February show was finally like the blow off.
Yeah, that was.
So we've dealt with them for like a year, and it's been fun, but also hurts.
Yeah, it's been grueling.
Okay. At the February show, you guys took on TME, and then you also took on Major League for
Sure.
the Midwest Tag Team Championships. How important was that match to you guys so far in your Exodus journey?
Oh, it's our most important match
Yeah,
of
I
our
think.
career for sure.
Yeah, we agreed right before the match. Like the build up to the match, we were like, dude, this is like the most important match we've ever had.
Part of
Like we
Exodus, part of our wrestling careers. Yeah.
it was like we built that up to finally like get the tag team championship shot for like over a year now. We walked in last May and like we were in the tournament, lost ultimately in the tournament, went to go open the open challenge, didn't get that. So like we finally got to that point. So it was like the biggest match we ever had. It's the NWA tag team championship. So it's like
Came close to finally getting it like twice, and TME screwed us both times. And then finally, like the payoff when we finally actually got it, it was dude, it was so special.
I feel like when it happens, when it finally happens, just based off how that crowd responds when you guys are out there, the the roof will come off the building.
Hopefully,
one day. That's what we're
hopefully
aiming
Uh,
for, man.
they don't
you
even know
know,
our theme songs yet. We have like had no entrances the last couple times.
no,
No, that
did you
last
not
show.
have one?
No, we came from behind.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That
Yeah, we
was
stood in.
that was funny because once again bringing up my little brother, but you guys ran right past him and
Yeah,
you scared the piss out of him. He was like, "What?" And I was like, and then like he paid attention to you guys the entire match. probably because you ran right past him and then you're flipping everywhere. And that's just, he loves that style of wrestling. So, like, it was just really, he paid attention. And then, like, I don't know, that's why you guys, honestly, to me, stuck out so much because the whole time he's like, hey, pay attention to them, pay attention to them. And,
That's
like,
sick.
not that I wasn't, but I was
Right,
like,
right.
but, like, for him to just, and honestly, like he's somebody I have on my podcast a lot for like live streams and things like that, but he never interacts in that way. So something you guys did stuck out to him enough to where he was like, "Hey, I want to hear something from them. Get them on whatever you got to do." And then it was funny because at the last IWR show, me and my dad went. He didn't go. My little brother didn't. So when we told him that you guys were there, he was pissed. But speaking of IWR, how did you guys start working with Rhino and IWR in Monroe, Michigan? And what's that experience been like so far for you guys?
Mine's
What's
a
your? Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's your brother's name?
Nathaniel or Nate.
Shout
We
out,
call him that. We call him Nasty Nate on the channel.
shout out, Nasty Nate,
shout out
man.
Nasty Nate. What a
Oh,
guy.
what a name. Yeah,
Y'all just made his day.
next time we see him, we'll definitely say what's up because that's sick.
Okay, I got you.
I hopefully tell him go to WrestleFest. We'll be there.
Okay,
I think
I'll
that
make sure he tags along.
nice.
I think my IWR story is hilarious. So when I got on, I was originally a Canadian sailor. I was
Okay.
I was not Riley Reinhart. So if you've been there, you've seen the Canadian group before, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was part of the OG Canadian group. I was like, shoot, I was probably like 9 months into training. I was like very new, and they needed somebody dressed up as a sailor and go out there and be a Canadian. And me being the young kid I was, and like I just want an opportunity. I was like, yeah, I'll wear the suit. I'll go out there. So I ended up going out there, and my name was Rear Commander Cody. And I actually like my 10th ever match ever was against Rhino and Shane Douglas there. It was like a hardcore
Oh,
match.
shit.
It was like my 10th ever match. I was scared crapless about it. But yeah, I was a Canadian there for like a year and a half, 2 years. I was like basically a Canadian like manager there. And then
Okay.
eventually I got out of it slowly. Like they slowly started building me up as myself until like I got with Martian there, and then we did Alienated Youth there.
Yeah, because we were
Okay.
a tag team, but like there for the longest time, we were separate. It was fun watching
So
him get gored. I know that.
So Riley, you've wrestled Rhino and Shane Douglas there,
Yeah,
and then Martian, you've got to take on Ace Austin, I believe, right?
That was my first match there.
What were those experiences like? I'd like a little bit more, a little bit of elaboration on those experiences with those guys.
No, for sure. Well, it's cool because like Skull and Bones, CK3 is basically connected to IWR, so
Okay,
that's like those two are best friends, CK and Rhino. So we train there, of course. I don't know how long it took you, Riley, but it took me 12, 11 or 12 shows setting up before like finally getting an opportunity. You said what, 5?
yeah,
Yeah, it took me way longer. But Ace was the US champion, and I found out I was opening his challenge, and I was ecstatic, obviously, because it's like first time there wrestling Ace Austin, who is actually like one of the coolest humans. He taught me
it
and Riley
really is.
about merch recently. Random fact, but he was like telling us about merch and stuff. But we oh my god, I was freaking out that match because that was my 15th match. So I like barely into it. We wrestled, and it definitely was one of those like switches where it was such a crazy learning experience that I still like think of, and just the pacing and the way he structured the match and such. Like it was special. It was very fun. I wish I wasn't so nervous because I feel like I could have did better, but it is what it is.
Maybe we can get a part two.
Hopefully, dude, that'd be sweet.
What was your experience like with Rhino and Shane Douglas, Riley?
It was terrifying. So Ryan and Shane Douglas, they're both old school guys. They're as old school as you can get. So like they just wrestle. They don't call stuff. They just wrestle. So I'm like, it was legit my 10th match ever. It was like maybe like 4 months after I had my first match. So I remember like just pacing back and forth, like looking at them, like, all right, when are we gonna plan this out? Like, when are we gonna go through this? And it's like maybe like a match before ours. Ryan looks at me and goes, "This is the finish." I go, "All right." He goes, "See you out there." I was like, "No, dude." So like I didn't want to talk to Rhino about it, so I kind of just pulled Shane Douglas to the side. I'm like, "Hey man, like listen, like this is like my 10th ever match, like pretty nervous." He's like, "Listen, kid, just listen to me out there. You'll do fine." So like we went out there and Shane Douglas grabbed me up right away. He just talked to me and just rode me through the whole match. And it was like probably like a 15-minute match just listening to Shane Douglas the whole time. And they said I did really good. The finish went off well, and yeah, it ended up like that. Like I was first a manager, and like that ended up getting me to be able to wrestle there and stuff. Like proving myself to Rhino and Shane Douglas, I can just work on the fly, and I have to like worry about a bunch of stuff. So like then from there, like I ended up working Rhino again because of that match. So it went really well. I did a good job, I guess.
That's amazing.
Scared though.
Couple more questions. One, if you guys had like a dream match scenario, um, first I'll ask tag team and then I'll ask singles. But as a tag team, who would you guys want to face off in a dream match scenario?
Are we thinking realistical or like all time?
Give me one of each.
Okay.
I think all time for me would either be
Is it
Hardy's.
Hardy's?
Yeah, Hardy's.
Yeah.
Or a big one for me would probably be Brian Kendrick and Paul London.
Yeah. We're
Like
okay. We have the same answer.
when we first started tagging, like we just watch Paul London and Brian Kendrick all the time. We think we look like them and we act just like them.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Inspo, some inspo from them for sure. Dude, I was just talking to someone about like if they weren't in the era they were in, but like the era they're in now, how crazy they'd be and how appreciated they'd actually be.
Yes.
Yeah,
and the Hardys, of course, because the Hardys are the Hardys. Like that's just
the greatest,
everyone's
tag team of all time. The Hardys are. Yeah, I think I'm trying to think of like dream of all time. I'd want to work the Rockers, like prime Rockers, Marty and Sean. That'd be. If I can go back in time, it would be to work the Rockers.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised the Rascals aren't on the list.
Well, I was gonna say like for those that are like kind of hard to attain, those are those answers. But like the realistic one, definitely the Rascals. We've talked about what's their new name?
MBOJ?
No.
No. MBOJ. Oh, the Great Hands.
The Great Hands for sure.
Yeah, but... I want to watch Jason Hotch and John Schuyler.
Okay.
No, the other ones. The energy drink, they can't say anymore.
Oh, the Bang Bros. Yeah, okay. We've been wanting to work the Bang Bros forever.
I don't know if that was another tag team or not because of the whole thing.
I think they're August Bang and Davey Matthews. No, yeah. Davey Bang and August Matthews now.
Yeah, Bang and Matthews is I think that what they go through.
Okay.
As a tag team name, I'm pretty sure they're on a Revolver show here in Chicago this weekend, and I'm pretty sure it's being built as Bang and Matthews.
Okay.
There.
Okay. I like that one too. That's good.
Those are top three.
As far as like where you guys would like to be, obviously Exodus is the place right now where you guys are at, and you're doing great. Is it ever something where you want to maybe go up to the NWA or NXT or TNA? Like, what is your guys' goal as a tag team? Maybe.
Have we ever talked about this? To be honest,
no. I think we've talked about like NWA for sure. Like this is kind of Exodus, kind of a step in.
I'll say right now we realize we're very young, so we're really just like enjoying learning and just slowly trying to get better in Exodus because that's honestly the place that has been making us so much better and like honestly having to evolve, which is very fun and actually like good for us.
we really like our goal eventually one day is when we're older to get signed, of course, and like me and him eventually want to be on TV together and be able to work names like all the time and stuff. But like I think right now we're kind of just living in the moment, trying to learn as much as possible. Like we're really just sponges, just running around, soaking up as much as possible, taking any chance that we can get and just running with it. But like
Dude,
NWA, I feel like eventually we do want to get to the point where we are able to work at NWA. I feel like that's a big goal of us.
I like it. I like it. Riley, Martian, thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast. Throw out there a special thank you to Exodus for making this happen. Um,
oh no.
I I will. I always do this. I'll leave an open invitation if you guys ever want to come back on the podcast. Maybe we can do a little update,
Oh,
dive into some other matches, things like that. I'd love to have you guys on for part two.
dude,
Oh, we'd love that. Please.
you text us and we'll definitely be on.
Sounds good. Before we go, I know we did at the beginning. I like to do it at the end too. If you want to shout out your social medias, just one more time, just in case they missed it at the beginning.
Um, Riley.Reinhart on Instagram for me.
Martian Webb with 2 B's on Instagram for me.
And then AlienatedYouth.pro.
For our
good guys.
bind.
And also May 23rd, check out Exodus Pro. The boys are back in town. You guys will be there. I will be there. I'm looking forward to it.
Hopefully we got the slime balls.
Want the slime balls.
Slime balls, Alienated Youth. Let's make it happen.
We're going to make it happen.
I will leave this at see you guys later.
All right, man. Peace.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.